How you doing? Good morning. I've been studying the Bible for some years now. There's some things I've really found out. When people come to God, when they come to God rich, they don't live broke. And when they come to God broke, they don't live rich. Here's what I mean. I'll give you an example. Like Abraham, right? Abraham was rich. Very, very rich. We read the book of Genesis, you'll find that out. Before he died, he laid his hands on his son, right? And he multiplied as well, which means if Abraham was a multi-millionaire, Isaac would maybe become a billionaire or something like that. So the same thing with it's supposed to be for Esau, but because Esau sold his birthright, he ended up being deceived by Jacob. He sold his birthright to Jacob. So instead of Isaac blessing, Esau getting the first blessing from Isaac, Jacob ended up getting it by trickery. So Isaac blessed Jacob instead of Esau. And even though Esau cried and cried and cried, I asked, is there not any blessing left for me? There was nothing that could be done. Nothing. He was left right there. Nothing that could be done for him. So, as a result of Isaac's blessing, Jacob became rich. He became super rich with a lot of children, with 2 wives, Rachel and Leah, and a lot of handmaidens, and a lot of servants too. Abraham was a businessman. He was a businessman. So, remember when he blessed, he was a businessman. He was a pagan, originally pagan. He was a pagan that wanted to know God, wanted to know what God is all about. So, eventually he got to know God and listen to God and hear God. So God promised him he will have descendants. And from the descendants, Genesis 12, I believe so, that he's from his descendants that the whole world will be blessed. That was the coming of Jesus. Yes, that was the coming of Jesus. So from there, even though Abraham didn't wait because Sarah wanted to have a child, she put Hagar with Abraham. So Abraham knew her, and they had Ishmael. So years later, God comes to Abraham and so that he can solidify what he promised him. Because Ishmael was not a promise. Isaac was. So when he came in human form with his angels, he told Abraham the same thing. Sarah laughed. And God reminded Sarah, you can do the impossible. You can do the impossible. So 13 years later, Isaac was born. So because Abraham was rich, later than Isaac, Isaac multiplied. Then Isaac laid down on Jacob. Jacob multiplied. Remember, those guys knew God, and they were not broke. Even after they came to God and left. Joseph, the son of Jacob, he went to he was sold to the Egyptians, right? And everything he touched, even in his low state, everything he touched, it prospered. So let me tell you something. I realized that God doesn't appear to you to give you money. God can either bless the work of your hands, maybe like a business or something, a venture, something like that, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, whatever, make it to prosper. That way you can get money. God can give you a promotion on your job, give you a raise. That way you make more money. God can cause your investments to improve. That is where the God works. That is God. When you come to God, you're not coming to God to get money. You're coming to God, to know His ways, to know His principles, to know who He is. You come to God to know His heart, and not to seek His hand. Stay blessed.